This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Bro Gang, we are joined by the VIP MVP, Champagne Poppies, Champagne Eho, the Velvet Rope Viking. Everyone's asking who is Zack Bia, but they never ask how is Zack Bia. The field trip pharaoh, psych world needs a psychologist because the fit's going mental. The Don Dada of Delilah, Mr. Nice Guy of the Nice Guy, the Bootsy Collin of Bootsy Bellows, his honor of H-Wood, the life of the party, and this party we call life. I need Zaction, that's a fact. DJ, promoter, designer, label boss, the missing piece to the puzzle in the sky, celebrity whisperer, Zack Bia.
Oh my God, that was the craziest introduction I've ever had.
Really?
I need to take a second. Hold on.
How do people normally introduce you?
Zach.
What's up? This is some fucking dude, Zach. I know, whatever.
You know, it's so funny. By first name, just be like, this is Zach, whatever, or this is Bia. And then the people that like don't really know me will introduce me by my full name.
Okay.
Which I always think is like.
So that's how you know someone's a narc, is if they're introducing you as Zack Bia.
Zachariah Beington.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Zach, listen, man, we're happy to have you. We didn't prepare you for the first segment, which is the fit check, and you're going to walk the audience at home through your very bummy, just rolled out of bed fit. The choice for you is, do you want to start top down or do you want to go bottom up?
I think we got to go bottom up.
Woo!
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. He's a fucking pro, ladies and gents.
So on the feet, I'm actually wearing some beige Ugg mule slippers.
Can you hold them up?
With the shearling?
Can we peep?
Do they have the shearling on them?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Full on mule. You're like a mule boy today.
Well, you know, it's so funny. I've actually probably worn these like 3 times in my life, but I went to go get my computer out of my car and they were like right next to the door. And I was like, how convenient.
Look at that, man.
So it worked out beautifully.
Throwing fits, making memories, dude.
You know,
one Ugg at a time.
Exactly.
You go sockless in those?
Oh, these are just like at the house, threw them on, went to look at my computer. I'm in my house. You know, I mean, I have plenty of options. I think I have clothes everywhere that meets the eye.
Is that like, are you just overrun? Like, did you have shit in storage or is it just, here we go. We're going to get a visual representation. Here you go.
Look at this.
Holy
I'm seeing sneakers.
shit.
I'm seeing boxes.
Yeah.
Everywhere that meets the eye. I got the CDJs in the crib with the shoes everywhere.
But you know what? Today it just felt like an Ugg day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It's a magical Ugg day. And so no socks, though. Moving on up, what do you have on your gams?
I have just the all white basketball shorts, like mesh basketball shorts, brandless.
Brandless?
No brand? That's impossible.
No. They're just like a blank, you know what I mean?
Sure, okay.
What do you like?
But not champion.
Make a quick
they're not champion. I just don't know what blank they are.
Okay.
I got the white LA Apparel tee on.
Okay.
And the red New Era fitted because my haircut is atrocious, so I got to wear a hat at all times.
What's your haircut right now? Are you still doing that undercut situation?
The undercut, I love the undercut. I love like the hard line cut, but
why is that? Is it just aesthetically appealing, or head shape?
No, I don't know. One day it occurred to me that I should just do it. And,
it's like Rihanna anti-era, you know?
Yeah. Is it inspired by anything? The hard undercut.
You know, I'd say it has a little bit of little Majid Jordan in there.
Okay, sure.
A little Danny Seth a couple years ago.
Okay, respect, dude.
Some Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
definitely a little Ronda Rousey in there. No, I don't know. I randomly it occurred to me. I tried it. I liked it. I rolled with it for a couple months, and then the other day, my best friend, my brother shaved his head. Right.
Okay.
My brother's a lot cooler than I am. He shaved his head himself.
Does he want to come on the podcast?
Yeah, he would probably be the best guy.
Did he do a good job shaving his head, or does it look like shit?
He did a really good job. He had really long hair, and he just FaceTimed me one day, and his head was like shaved like to like a 1.
Oh, he pulled the Britney. He just went for it.
He went for it, and my best friend's like, bro, be free. You know, get it. Start a new look, like your brother's way. Like, just try it, bro. Just try it. Like, I don't know. You know,
free your mind. Literally.
What's your budget on like hair grooming?
I mean, I go to the same barber. I go to this barber like 5 blocks away that I've been going to for years. It's just like a local corner barbershop.
All right, so it's not like it's not like you're doing it for money. It's just for the aesthetic.
Yeah.
When you shave your head.
Yeah. Just
but right now it looks like dog shit, is what you're saying. That's hence the hat.
It's in that in between phase.
Is this a Yankees fitted?
This is a Dodgers fitted.
Okay. It looks, you have it backwards right now. You look very Fred Durst-like.
Durstian, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Durstian.
we got the Detroit fitted.
Right. When you want to cosplay between Fred Durst and Eminem, sure. Okay.
Atlanta fitted.
Okay. Right.
You're on
Shout
the
out,
Andre 3000 shit.
shout out friend of the pod now, Reese LaFleur. I know that's your boy. He was on last week.
Good old Reese. Reese the frequent flyer, we call him.
And Zach, lest we forget, what are the panties that you're wearing under the brandless basketball shorts?
H&M, brother.
H&M.
Really?
Yeah.
Boxers or boxer briefs?
Actually, I have a good answer for you guys. They're Aleeks boxers.
Oh, really?
Do they have a buckle?
Yeah, there's a buckle on the front.
Do you wear typically? This is a debate on the podcast. James wears boxers. I wear boxer briefs. We ask every male guest what they prefer. Do you have a preference?
I would say boxer briefs.
Okay.
But there's some hesitation there. I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to be a future boxerman. You're going to be on the right side of history with me.
Don't fucking pull him to the dark side.
It's me. It's Jimmy. It's Horny Jimmy, Zack Bia, and Tony Soprano.
That's a fucking squad.
On the right side of history.
That's a fucking squad.
The Holy Trinity of boxers.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Gabagool, dude.
The holy meaty clackers. All right, Zach. I believe that is a complete fit check.
Yes, that's
unless we're missing
complete.
anything.
Nope, that's not.
Why didn't you guys tell me about this beforehand? Like, you should.
Because like we said, this isn't gotcha journalism, but like we want to keep it loose and natural.
Yeah,
this is clearly how you dress day to day. We want to give the people the true look.
We want to be authentic fit.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to mountains and mountains of clothes.
What would you have worn? Okay, how about this? We're going to only do this for you.
Alternate reality fit check.
You're the most clouded person not named Jonah Hill to ever appear on the program. If I told you that we were going to walk through the fit, what would you have been wearing?
I definitely would have just worn something I wear day to day, but I would have worn probably like a varsity jacket.
Okay.
Like a nice crisp white tee.
Is it blank of choice LA apparel?
No, this is because this was like a Psych World sample.
Got it.
It has like some random print.
Oh, I see. What's your blank of choice? Like, if you were going to pull out a crispy white tee, what do you go with?
Tee.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have so many just Supreme Hanes tees that I've had for years.
Respect. That's a great one. I'm with you there 100%. And then what would be on the legs and the feet?
Obviously, I love sneakers. I have an abundance.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a lot about sneakers. Don't worry, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I have all kinds. So, me.
All kinds of kicks.
I got like 7 of them.
I'm staring at like 20 different pairs on the floor. So, I just got these Bafsta mules in from Japan.
Ooh.
Chic.
Vintage or new?
They're vintage, but dead stock.
Okay, sick. Oh, right. Okay, got it. Sure, of course, obviously. And then what would you be wearing? Like jeans with this fit with the mules and the varsity and the
alternate in the Zack Bia alternate universe fit?
Yeah,
some jeans for sure. Some jeans
and the panties.
Yeah, would you be wearing the Aleeks boxers?
No, Calvin Klein or Supreme boxer briefs.
All right. But not the agent provocateur lace thong that we were talking about.
No, those are
for recording.
Those are for special nights.
Sure.
Valentine's is coming up, so I might have to.
That's true. You need that. You need the edible. You need the edible agent provocateurs.
keep that shit on ice, dude, for a special occasion, break in case of emergency.
All right, real fit check complete. Alternate reality fit check complete.
Only for you, bro.
Zach, let's get into the meat and potatoes. As you are aware, because you are a longtime listener, first-time guest, the 3 main subjects of this podcast, Throwing Fits, the only podcast that matters, are money,
ka-ching,
meats and cheeks.
That's sucking and fucking.
Most importantly, Jimmy and Larry, the goddamn motherfucking boys, ourselves. We're going to start with ourselves because got to start most important first. So Lawrence and I, we have a LA trip on ice right now, but it is going to happen because our best friends behind the paywall on Patreon did pledge enough money.
They funded it.
Hit this goal where we got to come to the West Coast and have ourselves a week out there. So the situation is Lawrence and I, we're coming to LA. The 3 of us are linking up. We're hitting the town. We've already had dinner. We're hitting the town. What is the perfect night out for the 3 of us?
Well, you said we've already had dinner.
Why don't we start with dinner?
Yeah,
actually?
sure. Okay, let's take it back.
So,
let's take it back.
Because I would say dinner is an important part.
All right,
the most important.
Let's start
part,
there. Let's start there. Where are we going to dinner?
I would say definitely it's the most important part. So I would say, let's just go get dinner. Us 3 go crack some jokes. Go get some good food. Let me take you to a classic spot.
What's like a classic
What are you thinking?
spot?
What are you thinking?
I would take you to, maybe Giorgio Baldi.
Ooh, I like that. Are you picking up the check?
I'll pick up the check.
Can you expense? That's an expense, right? Field trip.
If we talk about enough music, it's a field trip expense.
I love that. We could talk about music all night, baby. Okay. All right. Done.
We're getting some cocktails. If you're picking up the check though, you're running point on the order. So what are we getting there?
We're getting the sweet corn agnolotti.
Love it.
Two orders of those.
Can't wait to see that in my poop tomorrow.
A little zucchini blossom to start. Maybe a little prosciutto crostino to start.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the dietary restrictions are.
None at all.
All of them. I got all of them.
We want all the food.
Definitely, maybe a veal milanese, depending on. But we're gonna
Mamma mia.
Exactly.
What are we pairing with that? What are we sipping on?
You're doing a bottle of.
There's no hard liquor there.
That's fine.
Are we considering this like hypothetical non-corona times?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. This is everyone's good. We're all vaxxed up. We're all jabbed up.
The reason I say that is that because that changes the experience there.
Okay.
Because there's no hard liquor there. That being said, H Food Group does own a bar next door.
Oh, how convenient.
The tradition is you'll just walk next door, like grab a little drink, bring it back over. They don't care. It's all,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Little to-go-ski, little soda for the road.
A road soda for
sure.
Little roadie. And then is that restaurant Giorgio Baldi known for is it pasta that we're just getting like fucking
it's a clean classic Italian. It's still like a family run joint, legendary like spot by the beach. I don't really make it out to the beach that much, but it's like
for us, you would do it. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I would go for you guys and for Giorgio's,
right. You're looking for an excuse to hit the beach and eat some rigatoni, and that might be us. It could be somebody else. It doesn't matter.
No, but it's light though. It's not like you're gonna go there and feel like you just had like this heavy time. You know, we'll go there. You'll feel like I ate great food. No itis.
It's great beach pasta.
Beach pasta, I guess, and whatever that means. And it's so that's part one of the night.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
so we're sitting down. You just picked up the check. We're sipping tomorrow. What's on deck next?
Yeah. Okay. Part two. I'm just going to give you guys, I guess, the very classic night, right? So
yes, please.
We'll go back to the nice guy that you mentioned.
You're Mr. Nice Guy, the nice guy.
Yeah.
Also, unbelievable food.
Right.
But by that point of the week, I probably already eaten there 3 times.
Sure.
Yo, fourth meal, Liv Moss, some Taco Bell.
But we're also not full for it's light. We had that beach pasta from Giorgio Baldi, so maybe we get a little. We
go back there. We got a little corner booth. We're sipping on some. I'm having maybe a wine spritzer.
Ooh, a little spritzer.
A little Santa Margherita with spritz, maybe a little lemon in there.
Nice.
And then, some friends are coming to join us. Fuck it, we get a little bread pudding, a little chocolate budino. We dabble in the sweets. Fuck it, we're celebrating, guys.
Right, of course, yeah.
We only come to LA once, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Corona just ended.
Corona just ended, so we're going big.
Right.
Friends are meeting us. Whatever, look in the corner. Luca's having a drink. He comes over.
Okay.
I'm just painting the visual.
Right. No, I love this.
Devil's in the details.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. One thing leads to the next. Or, okay, cool. Let's just hit a little quick stop by Delilah, right?
Right. Just to see what's going on. Peep the scene. Yeah. Sure.
The scene. We go in there.
Read the room.
We read the room. There's a little bit of 80s music playing. Again, we grab a table. Another crew of people starts to join us there. So slowly, we're accumulating friends, right?
Right. We're getting a squadron together.
That wave is starting to crest a little.
Yeah.
The squadron is forming. People are coming in. And then you never know. Who knows where we go from there? Maybe we go to the club. Maybe we go to a house. Maybe I just call it a night. I don't know.
Right. Sure. Right.
That beach pasta starts catching up to you.
Right.
I'm gonna go home and turn on the Defiant ones.
Right. Absolutely. Sure.
Right.
Let's say you go home, Zach. Let's say you go home. You leave Lawrence and I, to the wolves. The thing about us is that we're friends with like some celebrities, Jonah Hill, yourself, each other, obviously. If though we are in the fucking club and left to our own devices, like how do relative normies like us? What's the best advice you could give us to befriend some celebs?
We want to like act like we've been there before, but we also want fucking fire flicks for the gram.
We want the action.
Yeah,
man.
Zaction. We want some Zaction.
Flicks for the gram, I feel, is like the opposite route to take.
Okay, so that's off the menu.
Put your phone away, Lawrence. Flash off.
Definitely off the menu. I mean, you guys can take pictures with each other since you guys are.
Yeah, sure. We can.
That's all we do. That's the basis of our friendship.
Yeah, basically.
If Jonah's there, maybe he'll flick up. But,
right. Sure. Of course.
The funny thing is, I think the reason that we even had any sort of success, like throwing parties and things like that, was because it was like sort of like that was the opposite of the energy. It was like we would highly discourage any type of phone. You know, it's
much more low key and private.
Well, it's like in this environment of nowadays where like everyone wants to Instagram them like hitting their chocolate cake and it melting or whatever stupid they're doing.
Sure,
like it's 1988 again.
I'm about to smack my bread pudding.
Yeah, I'm about to light this baked Alaska.
Yeah, we created the exact opposite, which is just like, you know, you come.
So is that
like,
the answer? It's kind of like, yo, treat celebs like they're not celebs. Treat them like you're just
real
ball
people.
busting like they're just your bros.
You're in an environment where everyone can truly be themselves. That's probably the purest thing, right? And like everyone there is friends and family in some regard. So everyone's sort of connected, albeit maybe through mutual friends or whatever. So if you create an environment where everyone can be themselves, no matter if it's a businessman, a celebrity, a skater kid, whatever, everyone can just come be themselves. That sort of creates, you know, the right environment for people to
Absolutely.
link.
And let's say, so you continuing on with this perfect night out, you know, exercise. So you're heading home. It's fine. We're fine. That's fine. Like, we'll see you tomorrow. You know, we got meetings and shit. You know, you're about to sign us to Field Trip Records. It's the first ever podcast signed to a super cool indie label, which we'll get into later. Who is the celebrity though that you want to hit up and be like, yo, my boys are in town? The most fun celebrity that you want us to experience partying with? Who is that?
Who's the best ambassador for
who's the you're calling him the
lifestyle
lefty
you've created?
If you can't,
You call him the closer. Who are you calling?
There's a couple obvious answers, and there's a couple. I'm trying to think of like what's an out of the box, like funny.
Sure.
What are some obvious ones though?
Well, it's like, you know, I guess, you know, Drake is like one of the people that, you know,
right.
we really championed. Like, I think when we look, it's so funny because we laugh about like, obviously, you know, Studio 54 is, you know, legendary, and some of the nostalgia and some of the things that couldn't happen nowadays that happened then back on
it's the blueprint, but also it couldn't exist in 2021.
Of course not. But I look back at like some of the nights, and not to toot our own horns. I'm just like, I guess sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize until you look on it, and then maybe the nostalgia settles in.
Like taking the 50,000 foot view and being like, yo, we threw classic after classic.
Oh my God. It was number one after number ones.
Yeah.
Crazy, like unimaginable nights of like the craziest groups of people that you couldn't even picture being in the same room together, going all night. Like,
is that the key? Like versus like a crew that is super tight knit, that has a lot in common. For you, the best is that cornucopia of just like the weirdest
all walks of life.
Well, I think it's a testament to sort of like what was happening in Los Angeles at the time, or is happening, you know, sort of like this new era of everyone sort of migrating here. To me, at least, it felt like a lot of the energy was in Los Angeles, right?
Right.
Creatively, and, you know, the arts, people are moving, a lot of musicians are moving out here, as opposed to where like New York used to be the Mecca. And New York's still the greatest city in the world, but it's like,
you hear that, kids?
Yeah, no, it's
coming back, baby.
Yeah, we're back, bitch.
It's gonna come back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
All right. So Drake is the obvious answer. Like, is he just not only just the god, you know, Lawrence's personal god, but also just like is he just fun to party with?
He is. You got to realize, like, if someone is like, if he's like puts out the bat signal, like word gets out that it's like a Drake night out,
right?
It's the same thing as like you could imagine like
Michael Jordan.
The party version of like being like, oh, Drake's putting an album. Does anyone want to hop on?
Right, sure.
You know, so imagine that translating to a party, and it's like everyone in the world wants to show up, but it's like it'll be in the matter. Like he'll get to some place at like 1 a.m. and obviously everything closes at 2, right? So he'll get someplace at like 1 a.m. and then like 1:30, like every door, the side door, front door, back door is like every different crew of people,
right?
Basketball player, rapper, this, that, and everyone's just like trying to get in. And we don't even know how word got out. It's like probably people that are already in there.
He's the magnet that night in Los Angeles, everyone's going to be drawn.
He's the sun. He's the sun of the party solar system.
Right. We're all just fucking.
You know,
rotating.
We've been in different, like when we were on tour, when he was on tour in London, I went for a couple nights and whatever. And it's like, it's so funny because it sounds crazy to say, but wherever he goes, like that night revolves around him, right?
Sure.
Even in London, like I remember being in London and I have random like British friends of mine hitting me like, yo, so what's Drizzy doing tonight? And I'm like, this is crazy that it's gotten to this point.
He touches down in a city and it becomes his city, right? Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
It does.
Nice. So who are the more like anomalies, maybe the under the radar, most fun people to party with?
most fun people to party with.
That you would call in to be an ambassador to Jimmy and Larry.
The cavalry. You need the cavalry to come through because turns out Jimmy and Larry, they party fucking hard.
Yeah, we need bring in the heavy artillery to take us out.
I definitely don't want to blow up anybody's spots.
Sure.
Who's the WMD? Weapon of mass destruction.
Are you sending your brother? Are you sending like your best friend?
Well, first of all, how could I forget that Gilligan is obviously in the mix with us. He's at dinner with us.
Clearly.
This is your best friend.
My best friend for over 10 years.
I hope he approves of the intro that we gave you.
Yeah, he was a big fan of the Reese LaFleur intro, and we told him, hey, buddy, just wait 2 weeks, dog. Wait 2 weeks.
Might got to try something.
Yeah. Shout out Gilly, dude.
Oh, he's a legend for real.
So is he, and obviously like he's your right hand man. He's someone who maybe like, you're like, yo, I got to head home. I got an early meeting. He's like, yo, I got this. I'll handle it.
He might be on a vibe. Like, yo, I'm out all night tonight.
Right.
He's one opposite or the other, like at all times. He's
right.
like a
duality man.
Exactly. The yin and the yang.
He's both at the same time, right? It's a beautiful thing. But you might catch him on a night.
Right.
Oh, he's like, yo, don't worry, Zach. In fact, you should go home. Let me take these guys out.
You can't handle this, Zach.
Let me take these guys out for the night that they deserve.
Sure. Right. Protect the innocent Zach. Go home.
Not the one that they need. Not even the one that they deserve. The one that they need.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. He knows.
He's our white knight.
And
all right, so we got Drake, we got Gilly.
Drake, we got Gilly. Opposite ends of the spectrum, but equally
right
influential.
Balancing the scales of justice.
Right. Trying to think of some funny ones, man. Fuck.
Chad Muska.
Yeah, Cadillac Muscalade.
Like Sergi Baca.
Sergi Baca?
Yo, hell yeah, dude. I'm just riding on his shoulders in the club. Prince on his bodyguard, bro. You know the vibes.
Trying to climb that tree.
Yeah.
Funny shit.
Serge. Fuck yeah, dude.
First of all, this is terrible. Like Blake Griffin, by the way.
Yeah.
Ooh, he seems like he's got a great personality.
Well, here's the thing. Let me preface this with Blake Griffin does wake up the next morning at 7 a.m. and goes
no
and
matter
works
what.
out.
Right.
Like he's a true
pro.
He's a professional.
Him and Lawrence can commiserate over their hairlines.
But the guy is, a 6'10", like 0% body fat comedian.
Sure.
Oh yeah, he's got chops.
Is he the funniest guy that you know?
He's definitely hilarious. One of the funniest guys I know. And the funny thing is like, how everyone's like, oh, rappers want to be hoopers and hoopers want to be rappers. It's like Blake Griffin just wants to be a comedian. Right. And you'll just get into some funny shit with him. And he just says the craziest, funniest shit. And
a comedian in Adonis's body. And
all his boys, like his best group of friends, includes like his agent and like his agent's like other agent friends, but like they all grew up together and shit. It's not
sure. It's like so it's Entourage, but in real life,
but for comedy.
But his boys, I call them the front office boys. And like, it's just like one of them is like an assistant GM at the Nets, and one of them is like his agent, whatever. And they're just like this crew of guys, and they're almost like frat brothers, and like over the summer.
So Jimmy, Larry, Zach, Gilly, Drizzy,
the
Serge,
front office,
Blake, and the front office boys are having themselves a night.
Is one of the craziest nights of all time. I'm just trying to picture all these things.
Yeah, that would be hell yeah.
On the flip side of this, who maybe is like coming up to the table and you're just like, no, we like
dubbed.
Jimmy, Larry, do not fucking do not engage. I know that they're celebrity, do not engage. They're fucking whack. They're a lame stain. Who's that?
It's not worth it.
Who's the lamest person?
Don't look them in the eye. Maybe they like based on movements.
Yeah, maybe they just are never on the exact same wavelength. Maybe they go too hard when we're having a chill night. Maybe they're trying to be chill when we're going hard. Like, who's that?
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think. I think the people that you would say that about are like the people that are like the classic lingering, like hanger on people. These guys that like find a way to like hang out with one crew of people and then they get like burnt over there and they hop onto the next crew and somehow they always finesse their way into like, you're like, I saw you with this crew and now you're with this crew, whatever. Those are the type of people that you avoid.
The bozo, the Hollywood bozo archetype,
James Lawrence,
which is us,
throwing fits.
There's a lot of guys that, sort of just make themselves useful in a way that benefits them being able to facilitate like hang out with a certain crew of like whether it be an artist or an athlete or whatever.
Sure. So like hosting a podcast, maybe I would say would be a way to do that. Yeah.
No, because that hosting a podcast is actually a positive thing. Like it's like people and they'll find a way to scheme and then they'll be fucked up. They'll get cut out of that crew and then you see them
right.
Or whatever. It's like those are the people you have to avoid.
They're grifters. You're talking about a grifter.
Yeah.
hangers on.
Yeah. It's disingenuine. Yeah.
I mean, Lawrence and I, we like brands and Johns that have a lot of pockets, like engineered garments. So maybe we can just be like a weed carrier or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how we make ourselves useful.
I'll be a shooter. For someone if they need
Zach, you were reminiscing on, I could see the wheels turning, just reminiscing about like, just times pre-pandemic. What was the last like amazing night you had pre-pandemic before shit went haywire?
Yeah. That you're looking back on. Like,
and hopefully, we're approaching those times again soon.
Yeah.
I would say Paris Fashion Week, February women's last year. Virgil just did that collab with Baccarat.
Mm-hmm.
And he made like the crystal sippy cup.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is so sick. And he, he's like, I think the best parts about like those nights is like what lies like in the spontaneity of them. So it's like what'll happen is like we're at the Baccarat Hotel, which is obviously, a celebrated, very
sure.
The place is like 200 years old and it's
69 stars.
And it's 69 stars and everything's made out of crystal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get there and he has like this local Paris burger joint catering the place, which is just so sick. Like, there's already like a high-low there.
Right. There's the juxtaposition is enticing.
Enticing. And he has this amazing jazz band playing. It's unbelievable. And, the room is like 20 of our friends and then a lot of like, corporate Baccarat people.
Mm-hmm,
and
sure. The suits. Yeah. The narcs.
The suits and a lot of different like higher up French, business people, right?
C-suite French guys.
And there's also a pair of CDJs set up in the corner.
How convenient.
And Virgil just looks at me and goes, when the jazz band's over, start playing music, right? Like give them, that's amazing. But he's like, let's transition this into the next part of the night.
Sure.
It's like by surprise, like no one knows that that's going to happen, whatever. And it turns into like, we're starting it off like we're playing it safe. We're playing like,
top 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just Z100.
We're playing like, lounger, like prototype Outcasts.
Okay, sure.
Loungier, chill music. Obviously that's a classic, but depending on the right circumstances.
No, I get it.
You haven't yet taken it to 11.
You haven't played Finito yet, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I think Finito did get played that night.
Of course it did, obviously.
And it turns into like a drill into Afro beats. The corporate French people are clinging their champagne, dancing, turns into like a rager in the Baccarat Hotel. And everyone's dancing. And we're looking at like the one lady that was like, checking everything like, what's going on? Is this person on the list? Like, super anal the whole night.
Right.
Stressing. She's doing her job. And to her, like, she's just like getting down on the dance floor.
She's raging.
And there's a kid, some kid stage dove off the little table of the during One More Time. And it was just like, it's like those kind of nights. It's just funny.
When you think about nights like this and you reflect, like, is it, and I guess the question is, does this happen a lot where it just hits you and you're like, holy shit, like this is crazy how far I've come and how my life ended up here? Does that happen like all the time or do you get a little jaded?
I don't get jaded. I'm extremely grateful. I'm extremely, I think like recently, especially I've been so inspired. I've been feeling very inspired recently. Maybe that sounds dumb, but I've been waking up like recently very inspired, especially I guess as we get more into like the music conversation.
Yeah.
About all that. But I mean, I fell into the club by accident, right? I never planned on throwing parties. I wanted to DJ since I was 12 years old.
Sure.
Like for real, since I was 11, 12 years old. I even used to go by the name, my mom would call me DJ Dandy.
That's a terrible DJ name.
well, thank God that one didn't stick. That was
right. For real.
I was like 10 years old, right? And yeah, I mean, I met like one of my mom's friends who DJ, and I was obsessed. And the first way that I was like really hustling and making money was like I would have people give me their iPods,
okay,
and I would fill them up with music, and give them back and then charge them. Right.
It's like getting paid for your taste level.
I guess that from an early age, that's what it was, right? And it all. I think it's funny because I look back at my last couple of years, and a lot of it is just it's a perfect mix of like sprinkling a little bit of luck,
sure,
like luck and timing,
right.
Also like hard work. A lot of like I probably went out before I was having all these crazy nights, I probably went out like 7 nights a week for like 3-4 years.
Dude, you got mileage on you, doggy.
Oh, I've been out more nights in my life than if I never went out again, I've been out more than
right. You're good.
For sure. My whole life.
I mean, Lawrence and I, you know, I would say, you know, before we get into the music, the thing about us is that, yes, we go out, but when it comes to like club, like true club nightlife, like we're pretty, I would say that we're novices here. Like
they're pretty green.
Yeah. Our favorite spot here shut down over pandemic. But like, if you had to just Kinfolk.
Never been
in Williamsburg. We wish we could take you, dude. Yeah, we could have. That's the one place where we moved like you move everywhere. We had the one spot. So
we were the Zack Bias of this one.
Yeah,
corner
we were
of
Kinfolk in Williamsburg. We were the Zack. That's what people said about us. Yeah,
but I guess like for the kids, and I know that the origin story of you and your boys, that you went out on your 19th birthday and you were fucking suited and you like somehow got into the club anyway as like a joke, and then you kind of met Fetty there. What in your 1,500 nights out, or whatever it's been, 7 nights a week, the last fucking 3-4 years, what is true bozo behavior that you would absolutely discourage from people, you know, doing in the club?
Yeah, this is the educational portion of the podcast.
I think
let's train this new generation.
Yeah, let's do the Lord's work, Zach.
Here's the thing is like, to me, the club, like moving lights, buying tables, popping bottles, to me is like so antiquated, right?
Sure.
It never appealed to me, right? And I never even planned to get into hospitality. My heart was always like in music. And even when I was first starting at the club and stuff, like the beauty of it to me was like being able to book the DJs, being able to like get new artists,
like curate the experience for the goer.
We were like, you know, I didn't know anyone, but it was like, oh, this rapper is like sort of coming up. Like he's a friend of a friend. Like, yo, why don't you perform tonight? Like, I'll get you. Like, even though you're coming up, and I'm not going to get you a check because I don't like, that's not where it's at right now. But like,
right,
I'm giving you the opportunity to perform your record. You're from New York. Like, here, play your record. You're
delivering exposure. It's a good opportunity.
We're delivering. Yeah. I'm trading exposure. We're bringing out our friends from college. We're bringing out like the kids that we're meeting on Fairfax, and we're just like cultivating this little like, you know, moment. And I think, you know, it's like the opposite. You don't want to be like popping bottles in the club. Like that's not what you want to be doing. And
so you're saying that like, if you're in the club, you're already a bozo and you lost.
No. The club is actually very, if you look at like historically.
Yeah. It's how you break records, right?
It's, I mean, music and
fashion.
I think so much starts with like the nighttime. Right. But I guess it goes back to that same thing. Don't, you know, go with your friends. Don't
club for the right reasons, kids. That's what we're saying. You know,
it sounds like just tap into that general enthusiasm, right? Don't be don't have ulterior motives. Don't be a fucking hardo.
Be yourself.
You're not there trying to flex on people. You're not there, but it goes back to that conversation. Don't try and take pictures of people. I'm just saying, not that that's a thing, but I'm just saying, like, you know,
for sure,
whoever you're trying to take a picture with is probably out trying to have a night themselves.
Sure.
In privacy.
Yeah, empathize. It's called empathy, kids. Yeah, look it up. Leave Drake alone.
All right, Zach, let's talk about your, you know, it sounds like you really made a fucking name and platform for yourself with nightlife, but now you're really focusing and channeling that energy into your first passion, music, DJ Dandy on the ones and twos. Let's talk about Field Trip Records, the label that you yourself started. Who are the artists that you've signed so far?
Yeah, what's the roster?
So we have 3 artists. We have Mallory Merck on the, you know, she's amazing on the more pop alternative side.
She's a singer-songwriter.
OG Soho Cool Teen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. It's so funny because she's so young, but like she's been in it forever, right?
Yeah, she's like had a separate life, running around with Ass Pizza and Luca and
exactly
running Soho.
Yeah, she was doing all that like 13, 14 years old.
Which is crazy. That's City Kid shit. Jimmy did the same thing.
Yeah, right?
Not nearly as cool.
Yeah, no.
No, she's the illest. I mean,
she's smoking poorly rolled doinks on Gay Street.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is the big leagues.
Well, I think even for her, like what's going to be so good. I mean, I guess obviously the pandemic has, you know, been awful for everyone, but like when she gets to play live shows and gets to do like, you know, those showcase shows and then gets to like open up for someone on tour, then do her own mini tour. That's when like so much is going to happen for her too, because meeting her, seeing her, that's like when you fall in love with her, right?
So she's about to blow away like a whole swath of people.
She's so epic. It's like, it's like you hear the music and it's like these acoustic ballads and they're very emotional, and then you pair it with like who the human is, and it's like that's when you start to see the whole picture, and you're like,
sure.
This is so cool.
That's the CDJs in the Baccarat Hotel. That's that kind of, exactly. that the big link. The ingredients that you wouldn't think go together, but it's delicious.
Who are some who are some like maybe bigger artists that if people don't know Mallory Merck, and they should now, who are some bigger artists that you would like kind of associate her with so that people can get an idea of what she's all about?
Could you compare her?
I would say like no doubt Gwen Stefani.
Damn.
Which is
real cultural icon, game changer.
Legend shit.
Yeah.
She's I mean, for real. It's like she's somewhere between like Casey Musgraves and 21 Savage in a human.
Damn. Hell yeah, dude. That's what people say about throwing fits. Yeah. Somewhere in between Casey Musgraves and I'm 21 Savage.
Yeah, exactly.
21.
Well, okay. So that's one of the three artists. Who are the other two?
We have SSG Kobe, young phenom out of Louisiana, just turned 17. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's like so prolific at song making. We're about to drop a really big record and then put out his first debut EP.
Is there another artist that if people haven't heard of him yet?
He's a rapper, but he's so, I mean, the versatility is like unbelievable. Like he just blows my mind, the kind of records he's sending me. I think he's a kid. He had a crazy upbringing, and
he reminds me a bit of Keith a little bit with like the versatility as far as like spitting, singing, just from the stuff that I've heard that you've obviously been promoting and posting.
It's like he lives in this small town in Louisiana, and especially these kids that are like 15, 16, 17, 18, they all grew up consuming so much on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. So he's so ultra aware,
right,
of everything.
Hyper aware.
He's hyper aware of everything that's happening on the internet, of all different kinds of music, he even knows like who liked whose photo. Like he's like, like he's just so aware of like what's bubbling. Are these people going to work?
He's plugged into the matrix.
And as 100%. someone, as the label boss who is so plugged in and hyper aware himself, like, do you think that the ability to, I guess, like absorb and process information, navigate it is like a true strength for an artist? And does that kind of inform who you sign?
Every artist is different, right? Like there's no one size fits all when it comes to anything in music. And it's just it's interesting because he's someone that it's just different paths. Like he's someone that knows how to sort of like prey upon virality. Someone that knows like, even if something as stupid,
he can leverage it. He leverages those moments.
Something as stupid as like posting on Instagram. Like he knows like when and how to post. Like his engagement on Instagram is crazy. Like he's not like the biggest artist in the world yet, but like, he has like a sort of cult following that he's cultivated, and he hasn't even done a show.
Sure.
But he's going to be doing some crazy things.
But that behavior is like, it's interesting that so far the two people, and we have yet to get to the third, but the two people you mentioned are so like internet savvy or digital fluent already. And you don't, even in young artists, you don't necessarily see this like behavior as like a natural, it's like something you have to kind of like teach them or train them on. Exactly. It's like, hey, please like post on Instagram or like engage with your fans.
And he's, it's like, he's on his like, I guess on his Cardi where like he doesn't post that much, but when he posts, it goes crazy.
The less is more mentality for sure.
He's definitely on his less is more. And he's about to drop some, like this EP that he's going to drop is going to change his life for sure. Like it's been moving at a very good upward trajectory.
Right.
Very, very quickly. And I think like this EP is like what's going to like, break him.
Sure. It's the breakthrough moment.
It's the breakthrough moment. He gets a lot of love from, he gets a lot of love from everyone, but putting out an actual body of work is where you can be like, yes, I put out 3-4 different songs that all sound different. Like here's a body of work that demonstrates the versatility that starts to really pull out the narrative. Mm-hmm. It's like the next step in his artistry. Right.
And who's the third artist that you got?
Yeah. We just closed the deal. It's this kid named Heaven, HVN out of Houston.
Sounds delightful.
Oh my God. He's so crazy. He's like,
is this the Christian rock?
This angelic
of
Christian rock.
Contrary to the initial thought of it being Christian rock, he's actually a rapper out of Houston, artist out of Houston who's like, I mean, like one of the most soulful kids I've ever met. He had a crazy story. I mean, he had a lot of health issues. Still, he still battles with different things. But he had a stroke when he was really young,
Jesus,
like in his teenage years. And when he was like in the hospital recovering from that stroke, he started like this brand, like this movement called Don't Die, right? But
to the point, straightforward. I respect that.
I'm with it.
Don't die like more in like a punk mentality, right?
Right.
And he started throwing these like crazy parties in Houston, like almost like guerrilla style, like renting out an Airbnb on someone else's car, like
right. Project X type beat.
For sure. And they grew like a cult following in Houston. Like thousands of kids were showing up, and punk bands were performing, and all the up and coming rappers were performing. And so it's like this real underground Houston scene that's just like so crazy. And he like sort of cultivated all that, and he makes amazing music. And we just shot this video. His song called Draco coming out, and the song, is real like hard hitting, rap record. But the video shot on film over the course of a week includes like ballerina. He's so artistic. And the cool thing with every artist is different. Like sometimes they want me to, help them creatively, or
right.
we'll balance ideas back and forth. Like
lean on you as a creative or artistic director.
Yeah. Like, they're the artist, and I never want to be the artist, but I can help guide them. Like I've seen a lot of this happen before. Like, right. Or at least let me plug you in with this person or that person.
Sure. Make the right connections for sure.
And he just has such a distinct creative vision that it's like all you have to do is sit back and sort of amplify it, right?
Let him do his thing.
Yeah. I mean, the video has like instead of strippers, there's ballerinas.
Nice.
And they're like, we need more money. We want to go shoot on this farm. There's a specific type of cow that we want. I'm like, please, like by all means, right?
Yeah, right. We'll get the cow money. Don't worry about it.
How do you like
milk money?
How do you pitch or position Field Trip Records to aspiring artists, especially if they have some buzz behind them and they kind of have their pick of the litter? How are you like, yo, Field Trip Records is different because, and like, what's your pitch?
Field Trip Records is different because basically you're coming into a system where we obviously create, we help them create their own world, but it's like, you're not being lost in a big building. We have all the same advantages. Like we have good funding. We have, we have a lot of the stuff that the labels can't pay for.
Sure.
Which is like,
which is Zack Bia, bitch.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like we have like a finger on the pulse, and we have a lot of strings we can pull, and a lot of like, we can make a lot of magic happen.
No red tape either.
Yeah.
And then we still offer, the same sort of things that the major labels do, which is, funding and a lot of like playlisting stuff.
Have you ever promised a Drake feature?
Never. I would never do such a thing.
You never know. You just got to pull a little rabbit out of the hat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's insane.
What are the, for Field Trip though, like what are the long-term goals? Is it to become one of the fucking majors and maybe be, on the 8th floor of the Universal building next to your boys of Republic?
The cool thing is that we can sort of move however we want, right? Like Mallory, we ended up doing a partnership at Warner Records with some dear friends on her specifically, but not Field Trip overall. So it allows us to move. We can have, let's say we have 20 artists, all 20 of them could be in different.
This is by design, what you're talking about. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, the thing is, the music industry is in this crazy place right now where there's never been more money. It's like back on the upswing, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's so much speculative money based on streaming and based on all these new things that are happening, that there's so much money being thrown around. There's also a lot of people that sort of are just, that work in music that I feel like there's not many people that are coming in like trying to disrupt or trying to navigate this in a new way. And there's people doing some innovative things, but the idea with Field Trip is like, we can have partnerships with majors, but it's like, why wouldn't we also be able to, once we have the proof of concept, which we're already building, these artists are on such good trajectories. It's like, once you've already done this, we have partnerships with multiple majors, then you're the priority in each building.
Right.
You have different teams, different fits for different artists. And then why wouldn't we be able to go to like a VC and be like, that's $10 million. And then now when these kids are like already big and they're competing for like $2 million deals with all these labels, like we can compete with them. Right. Come to home where like it's more boutique and we still offer everything else in the same, it's like you can reinvent it.
You mentioned the Defiant ones earlier, like talking about going home early and popping on some fucking, TV, but like, do you see yourself as like a Jimmy Iovine level disruptor? Like, is that how you envision yourself? Like that version of you a couple years down the line or even sooner?
God willing, I'm anything close to any type of, there's so many great people that have done so many amazing things.
Beats by Bia.
Yeah.
Why not?
Beats by Bia, right? And
who are your mentors in the space?
So, in life, definitely John Terzian, right?
Sure.
Who's, to those who don't know, he's the one who started H-Wood Group. He was the one who gave me like my first job in the club. But he never, it's so funny because everyone in hospitality, I've sort of been like on my way out of hospitality for years, right?
Always with one foot out the door.
I've always been like,
release me.
You need an exit plan.
Well, it's not, I'm always I'm on the back end of H-Wood stuff. Like we built so many amazing things and I'm always going to be tied into like that back end of that and overseeing it. And it's such an important avenue to upkeep. And we built such a beautiful thing. I'm not going to walk away from it.
Right. You feel some ownership to it, right? Responsibility.
I definitely feel, some responsibility. And, the one word that everyone hates in nightlife is promoter, right? For sure.
The P word.
Yeah.
The P word, the word, the word that you never want to hear said, but it's like, even when I was like 19, 20, like John was like, that's not what you are, you handle operations, you handle bookings, you handle this, you handle marketing, you do events, you do so many different things. And he really empowered me at a young age. And I was, working hard for him. It was a really good synergy there. So he's one of my mentors. And even back then, like, he's like, helping me. I was like running around. This is like before I was throwing parties in Paris and we were like sneaking into fashion shows and before brands were sort of like inviting kids to be like front row at shows and shit. This is like a couple years ago. He was just like believing what I was doing. Right. And then, he would hate that I bring him up, but, Future the Prince, also my, absolute big brother.
Is that Drake's manager?
Yeah.
Future office mate, right? When Field Trip opens up.
Future what?
Future office mate.
Future office mate. Yeah, I mean, Future is. Oh,
I mean, not the artist. I mean, like you guys are he's gonna have an office in Field Trip Records.
Oh, I mean, he's definitely the. He can have whatever he wants at Field Trip Records.
He's the big bro.
No, he's such a guy. He's such a guiding voice and always makes time to talk anything. Yeah, he's the fucking man. I won't say too much about him because he doesn't like people talk about him.
Sure.
Of course, with the same right. Zach, I don't think, it's so obvious, but I don't think we can emphasize enough. I think like the draw of an aspiring artist for Field Trip Records is like the finger on the pulseness, which you don't get at the majors. Obviously you by way of your nightlife career, which you're now, like you said, maybe transitioning more energy into music and fashion. You are still super plugged into the music world. And I got to ask, have you heard Certified Lover Boy yet?
I have not.
Really? Damn.
I have not. I heard some music, and it's amazing. And, obviously, unfortunately, a bunch of songs leak. Those were more so like demo songs, but a bunch of songs leaked and stuff like that. So that, he's wrapping up the album and I haven't heard too much of it at all, but, yeah, it's going to be, obviously it's going to be great.
Expectations with Drake. It's like, he's the one guy where despite expectations, he seems to have the ability to still leap over that bar. So fingers fucking crossed. Big Scorpion out now. The fucking vibes.
And that's big bro, right? That's big bro. I have to ask, did he inspire you to wear the Uggs or did you inspire him to wear the Uggs?
I think it's a mutual respect thing.
Yeah, for Uggs. It's just a mutual respect for Uggs.
Love the craft. Just appreciate the craft.
The Australian, fucking goats.
It's not even Uggs, by the way. This is like some random off-brand that when I moved into my new crib, my mom was like, "You need some house slippers," and like gave me these. I think it's my second time wearing them.
So your mom was like, hit up TJ Maxx, and she just got you like whatever fucking.
Oh, we're big on Marshalls.
It's the Marshall 2s. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Drake, obviously Certified Lover Boy expectations are crazy high. And he's also so always at the top of the conversation when it comes to like best dressed celebrities right now. I want to talk about fashion a little bit and you being such a part of the worlds of fashion and celebrity. Who would you say are the best dressed celebs right now?
Yeah. Who inspires you?
Who's getting those fits off, baby?
Big fits. It's so funny because, I see Nast like, 5 times a week, right? Sure. Like that's my brother, but it's so funny because I'll always give him shit like Like, remember when we put you onto this? When we put, like that, because that's the shit that really fires him up.
Well, he acts like he invented Lacoste, CDG, penny loafers. Come on, dude.
Like he's just, like, he's so funny because we'll find someone like super random that like and be like, remember when like this person put you on a comb? And he's like, bro, what the? He's like, where you at, man? I'm pulling up. I'm spraying. Like, where the fuck at? And I'm like, we'll be like, oh, remember like we'll name like the wackest person. We'll be like, remember this person bleached their hair and you copied them big, and like that's your big bro, right? And like we'll say shit, and then he just like gets so mad. But nasty to be able to put that shit on every day, But
he's not dressed. At least
by the way, the person least credited, Lil Yachty.
Ooh, yeah, big time sneaker collector, streetwear head, archivist.
Lil Yachty is for sure, like, an archiver of the reason Lil Yachty is so great in terms of in general, it's because he knows he's also an ultra aware guy that can get to so many different pockets. Like, he'll be like in a FaZe Clan video one day and then be like hang out with Mac DeMarco the next day. And then he's like a future Cardi video and then is like on Complex Sneaker. Like he has so many different worlds that he can like dabble in.
It's authentic too, right? It always feels real with Yachty. And that's what I've always felt about him is like, he really approaches like the shit that he loves, like a true fan, like how his fans approach him and he just gets it. He's a nerd. He's a fucking black nerd. He's a blur.
The sneakers get everyone's attention. But like, if you're truly paying attention, then you realize that there's so much more depth to it.
He's such a genuine guy.
So Yachty and Nast.
Yachty and Nas only because that's like, it's so funny because that's like all I was seeing yesterday. Like, didn't someone post an article like, is Nas the best dressed rapper or something?
Yeah.
It was all over my.
We did a poll with our audience that like, I think over 5,000 people voted it. And
first annual Fitties Awards.
Yeah. And Nast didn't win. I think who won best dressed celeb? He got second though. He like beat Tyler, the Creator.
Harry Styles won.
Oh, Harry Styles won. Okay. Fucking doing the jerk
Styles. Harry Styles doesn't like have a.
He's styled.
Sponsored by Gucci. He's a Gucci ad.
How would you rate yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think like you're up there? Like
you up there with the greats? You and the Raptors?
Yeah. Are you top 5 DOA right now?
I think all of my best outfits don't get seen.
Really?
Fortunately.
Is that intentional or is that like
also
why is that?
On behalf of the people, can I just say what the fuck? Why not? Why can't we see?
I think every day.
Is that what we got to pay OnlyFans for?
I'm really lucky. That's hilarious, right? It's like what if
paywalled fit pics? I mean, we've done it before, bro.
Dude, honestly, if you paywalled your fit pics, you might. I'm not saying $100,000 in an hour like Psych World, but maybe
you need another revenue stream. It's right there, begging to be utilized and activated.
I think I'm just lucky that I've accumulated so much shit over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So many different cool pieces.
You're a hoarder.
Oh, man, fuck. I don't want to say it, but I'm looking around my place and like, I guess.
Speaks. Like, I mean, your place speaks volumes, dude. You're like fucking swimming in Johns. So,
dude, I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
How would you describe your personal style? How would you like describe your personal style, your look, if you think you have one?
I'd say it's definitely streetwear leaning every day. Just because like that's what I'm always like, rocking sneakers and stuff. But I think
because that's comfortable, by the way. Is that like a comfortability thing?
It's just easy. It's like boom, grab these dream jeans, grab these forces, throw on like a jacket, whatever. I have. It's so funny because I moved into my place like 3 months ago, but I've been so busy that like it's still like half in boxes.
Sure. What's your address?
What's on your last 4 of your social? Mother's name?
What's your pin? What's your bank pin?
But anyways.
It's no address, all right.
The cool thing is I feel like I'm not afraid to, take risks or wear something that might be a little different than what I normally wear. Like I'm always cool with trying something new.
Have you suffered like the masses, like the unwashed masses and leaned more heavily into like the bummy work from home shit over pandemic? Or do you still get fitted every day, even if it's just to run like a dumb errand?
I'm still getting fly every day.
Says the man in no brand basketball shorts and Fred Durst fitted.
Yeah, but if I walk out the house, but here's the thing. I think it's come to that point where it's like, even if you walk out the house and you have sweats, like I'm lucky that like I have a lot of cool sneakers. So you throw on that cool sneaker. Right. It's like, no matter what, you're going to have some, I love what I'm wearing every day. I'm lucky.
Zach, I have to ask, Zach, how many pairs of sneakers do you own?
Couple hundred for sure. I mean, maybe like 400 or 500 sneakers.
Are they all in the crib right now, or do you have a storage unit? What's up?
My poor mother, her shed is covered in my sneakers. Ceiling to floor in my sneakers, and then at my house, I probably have like 300 pairs.
Are you one of these guys though that you have several hundred pairs, but you keep going back to Forces and just like the same 4 or 5 pairs and keep like a steady, strong rotation, a consistent rotation? Or are you every day trying to unearth, unbox some new shit, some rare shit? You're like, yo, I haven't worn these. I haven't seen these since like fucking, the Obama administration.
Right. It just hit me the other day that like how I need to just be like, it's a shame to have all these things just sitting there. Right.
Sure.
So I'm trying to be more conscious of like, let's mix this in. It actually makes things fun because if you start with the sneakers, you're like, oh shit, what can I pair this random like this? I haven't worn these in 2 years. What do I pair this with? And it's just
right. You're building your outfit foundationally from the bottom up.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Which is a good parallel for life.
Absolutely.
Bottom up. But
no cops.
But I have so many different variations of Forces and like shit like that it's like I keep falling back into that cycle. So I'm going to try and break it.
If you had to do some quick back of the, go ahead. Sorry.
Whatever pair of sneakers I get that week, it's like I rock
That's
those.
Like,
top of mind. Sure.
Exactly. Shit. Sorry.
Got to FaceTime, no worries. If you had to do quick back of the napkin, some back of the envelope math, how much do you think you spent on sneakers in your entire lifetime?
Fuck,
like 2 million?
No.
3? 1.
Well, I guess
it's a lot for free, right? It's a lot of flow team for sure.
Fuck,
at least definitely now. This man's not buying shit.
A lot of seating list sneakers, for sure. I'll say the collection is worth a healthy amount.
Have you thought about like, keeping this stuff for like some type of crazy
by the way, this
archive sale at some point in the future?
This isn't planned, right? I have like boxes of shoes everywhere next to me. Like,
Oh, here we go. Let's see.
Definitely got like.
Oh, wow. Come on, bro. Jesus Christ. Yo, those were just next to you.
The Paris dunks, ladies and gentlemen. What are those going for these days?
Yeah. What is it, like $8,000 dunk, dude?
8,000, like $100,000.
100 grand. Okay. Never mind.
Get the fuck out of here, Lawrence. Mr. Grilled. Mr. fucking Grilled brand director.
I'm talking out of my ass. Let's see. Let's do the quick StockX check, right?
Let's do it. Let's see. I mean, listen, it's never going to be more expensive than it is right now on February 12th. 2021.
Would you ever is there a price you'd let those go at, or are those a forever pair?
It's a forever pair.
No, cannot.
Is that your top sneaker all time? I don't know if we're going to do like a Mount Rushmore of sneakers, but that's the number one.
The lowest ask right now is $90,000.
Good God.
Wow.
Look, man, if this whole field trip records thing doesn't work out, I mean, you have a little nest egg sitting right there next to you.
You got a year's salary, a pretty good salary, decent salary in a box right there.
I mean, those were a birthday gift from a dear friend,
Mr. Phil Knight himself.
Yeah, right.
Big
with friends like that. Goddamn. Okay, so
shoe dog.
So you're not spending a lot of money on sneakers, Zach. You're on elite flow teams. Like, what percentage of the shit that you get where you're like, damn, this shit sucks? And what do you do with it? And how much money did you make off reselling?
I feel like disrespectful ever reselling anything that was given to me, right?
You're a better man than
flow to the homies. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, flow it to the homies. I guess flow to the homies, flow to little broski. I feel like I'm lucky that I'm on a bunch of good seating lists of things that like really appeal to me. So a lot of the shit that comes in, like I'm already excited for.
How many packages you get a day?
That my brother just asked me that. Fuck. These answers are all making me sound so ridiculous.
No, you sound great, dude. You sound like a cool dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And it's not you that's ridiculous. It's the fucking system that's ridiculous.
You're a symptom of a disease, dog. This isn't your problem.
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, right. Poor Zack Bia.
Poor guys.
I have so many paper cuts from opening cardboard boxes.
Yeah. What do you get? You get like 10 packages a day?
I get probably like 5 to 8 packages a day.
Right, hell yeah, bad. Dude. Fuck yeah.
There's a lot that could impress you about the all-new Honda Prologue EV. True, it's got class-leading passenger space and clean, thoughtful design and intuitive technology. But what really sets the Prologue apart from the competition is that it's more than an EV. It's a Honda. Honda, the power of dreams. Visit honda.com/prologue to learn more.
All right, well, yo, I want to talk about something that Lawrence and I should be on Flow Team for, which is Psych World, your brand. You told Forbes, right, that when you guys launched in the first hour, you took in 100K gross, not net necessarily. Although I don't know, after kids were seeing it on fucking Drizzy, on Skepta, on Cardi. And I guess not to speak down on Psych World at all, but again, talking about the system, will kids buy anything that they see guys like this wearing?
I think, so I think everything sort of changed in the last even 3-4 years, as a lot of those kids that were as these consumers got a little bit older, there's this whole new generation of kids that doesn't give a fuck about any of this. There's kids that think that Cardi and video games are equally as cool.
Right.
Right.
I'm just saying there's a new generation.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying there used to be, I felt like kids were more a part of different niches.
Sure.
And now everything's so overly saturated that everything's on sort of on an equal playing field.
It's also fluid too, right? Because you can like video games and like Pokemon cards and also bang Cardi, right? You can do all
sure. I'm not saying one negates the other.
Right.
They're
not mutually exclusive, right? Obviously.
When I was 15, 16, 17, my bad, I don't know. Non-stop FaceTimes.
Drake is really trying to play you Certified Lover Boy. It's crazy.
And by the way, if it's somebody really cool calling in, you can just do it on the pod. That's happened before. So if you want to flex nuts, go off, King.
We missed a couple good ones.
Oh, damn it.
Was it
Obama?
Yeah, Big BO, right? On the
Big
phone.
Barry.
Yeah, dude. Obama, we're trying to pod.
He's like, yo, Zach, I heard your jumper's wet. Pull up.
Yeah.
Damn, that'd be a crazy person to hoop with, right?
Sure. I mean, probably the craziest.
The craziest for sure. Did you see those Nikes that they did?
Those are pretty crazy. Those are going for less. Those are on sale for less I think, than your dunks, bro. Yeah. That's insane. There's only 2 pairs. Jesus. Whoever got you those kicks is a fucking very good friend. But okay, let's get back to influencer marketing. Is that the best way? Okay, we have 18 million kids listening at home right now. At least 16 million of them are starting a brand as we speak right now. Is influencer marketing in 2021 the best way to get your brand to pop off?
And quick follow-up, would you like some Throwing Fits merch?
Yeah, can we get you some merch? We'll get your address. We'll get your address off mic from Kev.
I'll definitely get the merch. Hopefully
it doesn't blend in with the 5 to 8 packages you receive a day.
Yeah.
It has to feel authentic in terms of obviously when you build a brand, what brand building is really building out the ethos of what your brand represents. And I think
the mission statement.
Psych World is never about me. I don't ever post it.
Right.
My partner doesn't ever post it. It's not about us.
Shout out Jonah, the homie.
Yeah, I know, right? Legend. But it's it's a faceless brand, and it's even
and that's on purpose, is what you're saying.
For sure, on purpose. I mean, we grew up.
Is it supposed to be subversive in some way, or is it just because you're I don't want to?
I think the mystery of it ties into. I mean, I'm giving away the fucking codes right now, but
thanks, Doc.
I think the mystery of it sort of ties back into the brand's allure and ties back into the brand's aesthetic. And what's really cool about Psych World is we really have done some real guerrilla punk shit. We've done a collab with Katsu,
right?
And he's obviously an anonymous artist, graffiti artist. We've done a lot of we mixed the loud, moment of a rapper wearing it on stage with a sort of real hands-on grassroots, guerrilla moment. Yeah. And that's what the brand really does lie in chaotic punk, sort of attitude, sort of yeah. I mean, I had to fill out this questionnaire on the brand the other day. And
why?
What
we're going through customs?
Yeah.
For upcoming collabs and shit they asked.
Okay.
Describe.
You can see that no one's ever asked to work with us because we have never once filled out any surveys.
Can't wait for that Psych World Tesla.
Yeah. But I will say to your point, that mix of punk rock and the big moments, sure, but even just the way you guys market on Instagram, it feels like a lot of people have run with that aesthetic that you guys kind of conjured. It feels like.
Yeah, but that's how anything goes. Anything that works, people are going.
And it's flattering too, right? To some degree. I mean, how many fucking podcasts sound like the goddamn motherfucking boys? It happens,
0. Are there grand plans for Psych World, or is it just kind of just seeing where this takes you?
Definitely there is. I think. I mean, the brand just turned 2 years old.
Happy birthday!
Congrats!
Yeah, happy birthday!
The terrible twos. Oh, wait.
Right. The terrible twos are happening as we speak. But I think it's sort of like the best thing that ever happened to us was like not knowing how to run a brand.
Sure.
For real. Like, I mean, that goes for a lot of businesses. And when I say that, I don't mean like not knowing anything that you're doing, but it means like you don't have to follow any sort of predisposition, like sort of set of rules, right?
Yeah. You're not subscribed to pre-existing the way of doing it.
You see a lot of people that are like tycoons of industry that like come in and they're like, or even it's like, I don't have, why do we have to do it this way?
Sure.
And that
outside the box thinking, baby.
And not that we're doing anything revolutionary by any means, but you know, obviously every kid and their mother has a brand, but like we were like in a pool of like brands that were like really were doing like pop-ups all over.
Sure.
You know, direct to consumer business, not following any type of schedule. And, you know, millions of brands have done it before us, but it's like out of this new sort of batch of brands where like, I feel like one of them that did it pretty successfully. So, you know, it's like learning that and sort of streamlining. We've changed factories like, you know, 10 times. Right. Finally now I think we've streamlined our operation. So I think it's like we didn't start collecting emails for email blast till like 6 months ago or something like that. You know,
that reminds me, Lawrence, we should do that.
Yeah.
It just seems like one of the things you would do like from the beginning, right?
Sure. It seems like it would. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Zach, all these learnings as Psych World has developed, what have you taken over to Puzzle in the Sky, and what the fuck is Puzzle in the Sky?
Oh, man, I don't even know if I can talk about that. Fuck.
Puzzle in the Sky with diamonds? What is it?
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
I have this kid, Robert, who's like this creative genius, you know, always rolls around with a computer that's like the
Bob
biggest I've ever seen. And he's like, sends me this crazy, he's like a Reddit forum as like a person, right? He's like crazy, like
he's autistic.
Yeah.
No, Jesus.
He has Asperger's.
He's like a genius. He's a
sponge, an encyclopedia.
Right.
Yeah, he's
a walking hard drive.
He is the one.
He's definitely very porous of all sort of internet information. And
where do you find Bob? Like, how does this guy come into your life?
I call him Bobby G.
How did Bobby G come into your life?
Funny enough.
And what's his Instagram? Can we find Bobby G, or is he off grid?
No, he's who knows? He might be in Russia right now.
He's in a bunker.
He's with Edward Snowden.
Dude, yeah, like the only way you'll catch him on Joe Rogan's podcast with Snowden next.
Right. Okay, so Bobby G, how does he come into your life?
Bobby G comes into my life by accident because my partner at Field Trip that I failed to mention this far in this podcast, which is so crazy. I mean, he's amazing. My partner James Canton, who was a genius. I'm talking to him about doing graphics for SSG Kobe, right?
Okay.
And we're going to do this. And Kobe lives in Louisiana and it's the pandemic, so it's hard to like schedule these shoots and stuff. So we're just doing like a graphic for his cover art. And I'm hitting this kid and he's like, yo, I got this kid that I could work with one time. Like he was like crazy. Like you would fuck with him. Like I'll put you on text with him. And I always sort of like spearhead more of the creative stuff. And so I'm like, no, don't worry. Like I got these kids. He's like, no, he's like, fuck it. I'll give you his number. A couple of days go by. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just hit this kid. And me and this kid, like it goes from like, yo, can you make this graphic? Like what's good? Like, what are your rates? Whatever. Until like him sending me a video of like him building something from scratch. He's like, I'm building this 3D printer from things I found in my backyard. Like, I don't know what he said, like something crazy.
Yeah,
like,
right. You know? Something truly impossible.
and me and him just get to talking and, you know, whatever, we'll FaceTime, we'll start working on graphics. And I'm like, I'm looking at more and more stuff and it's like inspiring me in terms of like, maybe we start doing these sort of things for our artists. Like, let's start building these 3D renders. Who knows when we might need this shit. I don't know. My mind is racing.
This man is taking dirt and mud and he's creating fucking Bluetooth.
This guy is the Neo to your Morpheus.
Yeah. We have so many crazy ideas about stuff that don't necessarily fit Psych World.
And so is Puzzle in the Sky like the catch-all for that?
It's just like a sort of like spastic, like a way of us to like it's like another avenue for us to like use our crazy ideas.
It's like fast twitch, you know, all the neurons are firing. Let's just get Bobby G on the case, dude.
A quick adaptation.
Bobby G is nuts, man.
Yeah, shout out Bobby G. Can we get him on the podcast?
Bobby G.
Would Bobby G do our pod? I know we're not Rogan, but
no, he would do the pod.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, we might need to tap in.
All right, well, Zach,
off, Mike.
Zach, whether you're wearing Puzzle in the Sky, whether you're wearing Psych World, whether you're wearing Marshalls, your IG is currently all fit pics, right? You're a successful, as we say, you're a successful fit picsman.
By the way, welcome, brother. Welcome to the fraternity of fit picsmen. We're so happy to have you.
We got Bia, we got Schlossman, Harris, Bia in the rafters.
You're retired.
As you've developed this aesthetic of the grid of Maine, what are the do's and don'ts of fit pics that you always like? Yeah. What are the every box that you check?
Fit pics.
Rule number one has to be an iPhone picture, right?
Yeah. Listen, you're speaking my language. I'm never cheating with a DSLR. Then you look like a fucking, when you try hard, that's when you die hard.
Well, what about the most recent gallery?
Well, that was part of a fucking project. That was a completely separate thing. That was press.
Flick up with a Steve
iPhone.
Jobs original.
Yep.
Yeah. Flick up on the iPhone. It's so funny because I forgot who the other day was like telling me like, your pictures are always in such crazy environments or something like that. I don't know how they describe it.
So backgrounds, you have good backgrounds?
I guess, right? I didn't think about that, but I look at my backgrounds. I'm all, like always, I never think about if I wasn't me or I didn't know me personally, how would I perceive me?
Right.
And how's that going for you?
Welcome to that fucking club as well, dog. Self-awareness is lacking on this podcast.
My advice, don't do that. Otherwise you'll just, have to, see a very expensive therapist.
I'm like, this guy's on a horse in the water. Like, who is this?
Yeah, that rocks.
But I think that there is a significant element of humor in all your fit pics, I think, which I appreciate.
I like to lean into that.
Yeah.
Right. Lean into the
absurdity of it all.
I like to lean into the absurdity of like the character that people think I am.
Right. So you actually are extremely self-aware. It's actually the complete opposite.
Well, I'm definitely I feel like I'm more self-aware now than I've ever been.
What is the absolute difference between like what people think Zack Bia is and then like who Zack Bia actually is? Like what's the greatest kind of absolute distance between those two people
versus the how?
Isn't who you are a combination of who you think you are and who other people think you are?
Damn, dude. I mean, that's
bro, I didn't go to
Chef, let's get
that's a question. Like, I mean, that's a question I have. Everyone is always like, who is Zack Bia, but never how is Zack Bia. And this question of who is Zack Bia seems to be this dominant narrative that Lawrence and I like don't necessarily subscribe to. Like, we just want to chat to our fucking boy here. But does that bother you that people are always trying to like figure out who you are and what you do?
It doesn't bother me because, going back to like sort of ignoring what people think, it's like the people that I do business with and the people that are my friends, like they sort of see like the intrinsic value of the things that I'm doing. And I'm in a really good position where, because it's so funny because like this, I guess like the stupid, I guess like fit pics is so funny because having cool fit pics and like growing whatever, like Instagram following, people grow when they do that, right? Leads to like somehow like corporate buy-in that like you have cultural
cachet,
which leads back to like ties back into like, oh, these guys do know what they're doing culturally as far as field trip goes. It's like all ties back in,
right?
So like I'm not so worried about it, and especially I want the things that I create and that I build to far exceed whatever who is the kid behind them. I want these things. I hope every artist
be bigger than you. Like it's like Field Trip. If Field Trip is bigger than Zack Bia, he succeeded beyond his wildest imagination.
You're building a 1,000-year legacy.
Yeah. Every artist should be, a millionfold bigger than I could ever be. And if I can contribute to that, like that's where I like to fall in. I want to do amazing things and create these long lasting, impactful things for sure.
Zach, I want to ask you a super loaded $1 million question. Do you seek approval from anyone? And I would love to know who that is.
I don't know if I do. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes when you like, here goes like the bad part of Instagram is right. It's like people will post a picture, right? And if it doesn't do well, they're like, oh fuck, right?
Delito.
Yeah.
But it's like
Delito, cuz.
But it's like it didn't do well maybe because you didn't give the people exactly what they wanted. And it's tough to sometimes, I don't really post that often. And
also, what the fuck do the people, and sometimes the people don't know shit.
For
They
sure.
don't know what they want, right?
You got to tell the people what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of that is like, thinking about, I don't ever think like, oh, is this the next thing? I'm just like sort of living my life. And if like we're ahead of the curve, then great,
Yeah.
But
Defying expectations, that's collateral damage that's going to happen. And sometimes it works out for the better and sometimes it doesn't. But I think what you're saying is like, you don't think about that. You just do what feels natural. And that's the fucking.
I have a way that I like to take pictures and I think it's fun.
Oh, we're still talking about specifically fit pics. I thought we were going fucking.
I don't know.
Galaxy brain.
I don't know.
But Zach,
But here's the thing: fit pics are a metaphor for life, and that is why we are the only podcast that matters.
Zach,
About the important shit.
as you walk this increasingly thinner and thinner line between like who you actually are as Zack Bia and then the Zack Bia that people think is Zack Bia, is there someone in your life that fucking checks you and humbles you if you're veering too far towards the Fugazi shit? Is it your mom?
Your real friends do.
They're just like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you look like
you're bugging.
you look like a clown here.
Sure, you're bugging. I'll be like, you're fucking bugging. But
You're bugging.
I don't really have that too many of those moments, thankfully.
Good.
He don't miss.
Well, look, it's like is my goal to like let everyone know what I'm doing? Probably not, right?
Touche.
But also, is there like, besides this podcast, which is like the unanimous source for information in the world, unanimously agreed upon source of information, it's like there's not one place. It's like sometimes I'll do like that Forbes article, right?
Yeah,
it was such a cool moment for me, and then I'm like, wait, people are still asking me what I do. Like, did they not? Did every single person in the world not read that? You know what I mean?
Sure. Or the GQ piece, right? Which was fantastic.
Oh, that was a really fun one. I mean, Sam's incredible.
Shout out Sam Hine, that fucking wayfish twink. Love that man.
No, he's
Woodland nymph.
He's a genius. I'm excited for him, like what his career does.
Sure.
Like all these.
I'm excited for that mullet. You kidding me? Shitting me?
Yo, and come on. This is best. Talk about a haircut fucking woo. God damn. Hair god, dude.
Yeah.
Looking like the third long lost Gallagher brother. God damn.
Zach, I want to ask you from where you're sitting, what are some brands beside, because we know what you fuck with, right? You're obviously, checks over stripes, big Louis guy, big comfort guy.
Support the homies, right?
Yeah.
You wear your friends.
For sure, support the
Psych,
homies.
World, Puzzle in the Sky. What are some other brands that we all need to keep our eye on as they start to bubble up in 2021?
Yeah, put some of those said homies on. Who's next? Who's next up?
There's so many. I mean, there's so many different like this goes back to like that hyper aware conversation, right? I think like the best thing, like one of my best, if I could toot my own horn.
Sure, go off.
My best sort of like attribute is being like ultra aware of like all these different pockets, right? And like what I like and my friends and everything. Like some people will only be friends with people that like a certain type of thing. Like I think the best that's ever happened to me is that I'm so lucky to know like so many people in every different realm. And there's just so many different pockets. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, we asked you a huge question here.
I'm thinking about up and coming brands.
We've just done something that's like really fucking made your pickle tickle, like in the last, I don't know.
Or something that you were like, yo, I got to buy this if I'm not going to get it for free. Like I have to.
Yo, this is it.
An Instacop, a Must-Cop, a RoboCop.
I'm going to need that.
I like, let's say brands. I mean, they're already big. Like I love Sakai.
Right. Sure.
Just like such crazy, intricate pieces.
I would say Sakai is probably underrated. I mean, maybe not so now because of the Nike collabs, but as far as like the apparel is concerned, I can see them having a much bigger year for sure.
I mean, the problem is with any brand, it's like, you look a lot of the kids that are buying like a lot of the logo centric stuff. It's like if you look at it, you look at a rack of clothes. I'm talking about like general population, right? Mm-hmm. These are the kids that we like to call the Sugarfish and Maxfield kids.
I like that, dude. Okay, go on.
It's a joke, but it's like, and like you're given the opportunity to buy like this like incredible garment,
sure,
but like something that's logo centric that's going to show that like you bought that piece, right?
It's like, hey, you know how much this cost, right? Because you see the logo.
And that's sort of the problem. But I guess to each their own. Yes,
but you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The point being, it's like even that was like a lot of this issue with like even Aleeks coming out the gate.
Right.
It's like, there's it's like snake skin leather.
There's more than just a chest rig.
It's like should I buy this $2,000 snake skin leather, like shark skin, dehydrated leather trench coat, or do I buy like the
logo tee?
Logo, Balenciaga knit
Do you
sweater.
see? So Lawrence and I, we are
me,
anti.
That's the issue that people have. But like, it's like, obviously, Kiko is another genius.
Right.
I've been heavy on my Asics. I mean, we're doing a pair of Field Trip Records Asics.
Oh, is that breaking news?
That's breaking news.
Breaking fucking news.
And, Kiko is amazing. I have a bunch of Kiko Asics stuff here, but obviously he came on as like a creative director in Japan.
Yeah.
But there's these people that are just so talented, and they for sure get their credit. It's just, it's just different. But yeah, we're doing
it's not mainstream, right? A lot like Balenciaga, you could argue, I mean, depending on where you live, maybe not mainstream, that might be much, but like in LA and in the circles that you probably run in, like, yeah, that's basically mainstream now.
Sure. Like I don't own any, like I don't have any Mo Aloha pieces, but like, wow, like she's amazing.
Yeah, she's fucking sick.
So fucking
you don't have the trucker?
I don't have the trucker.
Because I feel like you should have that trucker. We need to get.
But like I've had the Mo Aloha is so fucking sick. Anything that a lot of work goes into creating, the art behind the stuff. Like the photo shoots are amazing.
Yeah, snapping.
Such cohesive, creative, and really like just something new and like so colorful. It's so sick.
That's inspiring to you too, as like a guy with multiple brands, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many kids making crazy shit. It's so fucking.
Well, let's talk macro for a second. I mean, you mentioned that you yourself aren't necessarily drawn to like the logoed out shit, but more just like the construction and the full John, the garment,
the craftsmanship, the artisanship.
That's where Lawrence and I.
Is it your fault that my brother uses the word John for everything?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's no, not for everything. We use it to just talk about like clothes and shit.
Yeah, we
for everything. That's some Philly
garments.
Shit.
Yeah, we're not Philly. We just appropriated. We culturally appropriated Philly, but we don't use it for everything.
Philly's a great city, by the way. Fuck, I haven't been in a while.
Absolutely, but just like macro trend wise, Zach, like what do you see maybe taking over in 2021? Is it a move away from logos? I mean, you've been pushing these like brimmed beanies, like your fucking Mark Echo or not, like the 2002 Nas,
the fifth member Fall Out Boy.
Gas station sunglasses are your wave, like fucking the I Heart New York tourist merch. Like, is it these like cheap?
I'm for
sure. Here we go. Wow.
This guy fucks and he on Monster Energy. That's what he does.
This guy just yelled at the hostess at Sugarfish.
Never. The rule number one: never be disrespectful to anyone.
Right.
I mean, that's some shit that we've been seeing on you personally, but just like from where you're sitting, finger on the pulse shit. Like, what are some trends that you think might take over this year?
Yeah, undercuts too. We talked about that up top. What's next?
The undercut is sick. I'm gonna go a little more aggressive with the undercut next time. Like
more aggressive.
Yeah, even more aggressive. As soon as my hair grows out.
We're gonna need a bigger bowl.
Yeah, definitely like big soup bowl in my head.
Soup bowl head ass. Okay, so undercuts, brimmed beanies, gas station sunglasses, Taurus merch. What else?
Taurus merch. Fuck, that was a Supreme beanie, man. Put some respect on it.
Damn, shout out James Jebbia. We know you listen to the pod.
Maison Jebbia.
Trends. Well, it's like it goes back to the thing when it's like when there's so many collabs, it's like how much better is like the inline sneaker, right?
100. Well, this is what Kiko's going to do at Asics, bro. Just going to work on fire GR shit. Like he doesn't need his name on the box, and that to me is crazy exciting and disruptive in the sneaker space.
I mean, it's so sick. I mean, he has that like just like that little pull tag represents that like he worked on the shoe.
There you go.
Just co-branded or anything.
Just right there.
Well, I spent a lot of my free time. Like I never was a person that ever consumed stuff like on YouTube. I'd go watch like music videos and like skate videos and basketball highlights. But recently I spent so much time, like my downtime, like when I get home, I'll be like on the couch, right? And I think I saw something so stupid as like being an entrepreneur means working 60 hours a week so that you don't have to work 40 hours a week.
Boo.
Right? Whatever like stupid shit it is, but it's like
was that Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, is that Gary V or is that fucking? You hear that on Clubhouse? Where do you hear that?
The point being though is like none of my work it never stops. Like I'm always trying to, there's no, oh, it's Sunday, let's not do this. It's like every day feeds into the next. Every day is
so you're never not working, but you're never like
it's all one.
Work.
My life isn't not work or work. It's just like, it's just how I do things. And I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube recently because I've been looking at a lot of like, what did I watch the other day? Like Leor Cohen Blueprint or something.
Okay.
And he talks about how like every label at the time was like, you know, big mouth, like was about the label. It's about the throw. But those are iconic movements, right? But he's like, the thing with them is like, it's in the whispers, like, oh shit, that record's hot. Did you know that Def Jam put that out or whatever? And I think like sometimes the beauty is in the subtlety, right? Mm-hmm. And that goes back to like that Kiko conversation. It goes back to, I think, you know, obviously we saw Brown take off last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's going to go back to, I think people are going to start wearing a lot more of the, like, I want people to be rocking more navy, more forest green.
Ooh, so this is a nice little Pantone prediction. Navy, forest green.
Navy, forest green.
We got to get you a pair of the podcast loafers, my guy.
Yeah, we make a lot of green merchandise. We're going to put you on Flow Team because
we got basketball shorts. We got fucking forest green basketball shorts.
You really represent the throwing fits, the Liv Moss mentality.
Yeah,
and we just want to make it, you know, we just want to get you out there. Whether or not you put it on stories, I mean, we'd appreciate it, but we'll figure it out.
Is that because Zach, you'd mentioned on a podcast that does not matter because by logic,
definition,
as the only podcast that matters, ergo every other podcast does not matter.
Ergo,
that
did mention that
is deductive reasoning.
Yeah, exactly.
You do love being alone, and in your alone time, yes, like you're a sponge and you're constantly absorbing information and like learning and developing that fucking brain muscle. What else do you like to do when you maybe do have a few seconds to like turn that off, or is it constantly just learning more, seeing more?
I recently have been thinking about like the value of being alone, right? I'm so rarely alone.
Yep.
I always have people around me. I'm always out and about. I think when you get into who knows, like at one point that'll stop. Like at one point you'll just be like, it's been too much for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, even I'm so used to being out so much that even if I'm like visiting a place or something, we're talking like non-corona, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if I'm visiting a place, it's like I'm still going to be out probably most of the nights that I'm there, just because that's just how I've been wired.
Right.
But I'm constantly seeking information. I'm never doing only one thing. Like even yesterday, I was getting a tattoo, and it was like I was on a Zoom call with Warner Records while I was getting my tattoo. That hung up. I got a call from Kobe, who's talking about this song that he doesn't want to put out and this one that he does and getting it mixed or whatever. And then I hang that up. My friend's asking me where you want to go for dinner. I'm never like the guy's tattooing me. He's like, dude, that's fucking, I'm exhausted.
Right.
Staring at your phone. I've turned down like 3-4 FaceTimes. And this isn't like me being like, oh, I'm the coolest guy in the world. Everyone talks to me. I'm just saying that my phone is constantly buzzing. Right.
Has your phone ever died?
My phone has died. And I feel like
freak out.
Yeah. What was that like? Like phantom limb status?
Like you can feel like a pebble drop, right? You can hear a pebble drop. Like, fuck.
What it feels like to chew 5 gum. Yeah, I get it.
I probably should. Like, I probably should do something simple like that. Like, not
like find a zen. Like, do you have like you don't play video games? You don't podcast with your best friend. Like, where do you find your zen, dude? Is it in fucking taking calls and all the time?
The piece is in the chaos, right?
Right. Okay. Wow. That's a fucking bars.
And another like, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I guess we are creatures of habit. And my like habitualness is like the chaos.
You're an agent of chaos.
I know nothing but the chaos. I know not like
you're the Joker. You're
you
literally
were born
the
in the chaos.
I was born.
That's Bane. That's Bane,
but, you know,
not the Joker. Put some respect on the Joker.
But he was born in the chaos. We were just fucking raising it.
Yeah,
Zach.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I guess I find like joy and stuff like in little discoveries of things. Like I'll be like in between, I'll be on like a Instagram wormhole of like, because I guess I was at my friend's house the other day, right? And he's someone who's a couple years older than me, and he like brought someone up, and my first thought was to go on Instagram and look them up. And he's like, "That's so interesting. Like, is that your go-to move?" And I realized
versus what, like Googling it, or
I guess versus Googling it,
mailing them a letter.
Yeah.
No.
Getting out an Encyclopedia Britannica.
But it is. I mean, Instagram is so insightful in some ways, right?
Right.
it's how you realize like what mutual friends you have or what.
Or how you learn Zack Bia knows how to ride a horse on the beach.
Barely, man. Fuck. That was crazy.
If the world made sense, men would ride side saddle.
So that older friend thought that was strange that you did that, and then you kind of like were like, "Damn, I agree."
And then I was, outdoor dining is reopened in LA, right? And this girl who's a friend of a friend comes out to dinner with us, and like we bring up a friend, and she looked them up on TikTok. And I'm like, "Is this what's happening now?"
Damn.
Like.
Is she younger than you? Is that friend of a friend younger?
She's like 19.
So she's a full Zoomer. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know. I don't even know where we were going with all that. But
well, I'm glad that you joined us. I'm glad that you recently joined us on TikTok, my friend, because that world is. Whew,
I don't know how much I'm really going to dabble.
Right. Well, Jim is the oldest. He's 34. He's the oldest man on TikTok. So
yes, no, there's a robust over 30s.
And the woman who does the Playboy Cardi videos who fucking rocks. She's like 60. So yeah, you and her, James.
I have this hilarious rapport with one of this woman who works at TikTok. She used to work at Instagram, and she would always like help. Like when we like started like Field Trip, like the account was like Field Trip 1, and then she had like at Field Trip and stuff.
Right. You got to plug. You always got a guy. You got to plug, or a woman. However they identify. You got plugs everywhere. Let's be real.
Luckily enough, we've cultivated
blessed. #blessed.
#blessed.
Wait, so is she trying to get you heavy on TikTok?
Yeah, she was like pushing it.
And I had a really interesting Zoom call with her. She's like, "Let me run you through like how this thing actually works." And
that's VIP treatment, dog.
Well, it's like. Especially, there's a lot of sort of controversy in terms of what it does for music, right? One, it doesn't help artists blow up necessarily, but it does help songs blow up.
Right. Corvette.
Is that destroying artistry, or is that empowering maybe a song that never would have had a chance? I don't know. There's so many different debates about what's going on. Because I mean, it is so purely viral, and it is a testament to sort of like the methods of consumption nowadays, which is
with the fact that Field Trip Records is like new artists. Are you encouraging them to employ like a TikTok strategy?
Yeah. Where do you stand?
I'm not necessarily telling them to go on it. I want them to be themselves, but I am, however, like having back end conversations with like people who sort of outsource stuff to TikTok and building, the virality. It has to feel organic. I'm trying to just learn I have a lot of the stuff down in terms of like the more corporate side of distribution. We have really good relationships with people at the different streaming platforms. And I think as we start to tell them about, the stuff that we're building with our artists, they're really keen on like helping out, build it out, which is amazing. And then it's like, there's this whole other side, which is like, what like, how there's like retail and resale. It's like, there's like there's a whole underground of like music business, which is like people that do like user generated playlisting for songs, and people that do these networks of like Instagram repost pages and stuff. And it's like, what is real, what's not, sort of learning to navigate what's effective, what's not. And there's definitely kids that make a killing on like outsourcing music to TikTok creators to then try and create something. So it's just like learning to navigate that whole realm of things. Does
that feel daunting or exciting? Exhilarating even?
It's definitely exciting. It's exciting. Anything new.
Is that truly surprising to you though, that stuff is quote unquote like artificially pumped? And does it even matter? Like, is there anything, does the artificiality of that even like exist? Or is that just how things are now?
There's always been different versions of that, right? It's just now
like paying DJs to play records.
Payola.
Yeah. Paid radio, paid billboard, whatever it is. It's just been digitized, right?
Right. I think it's safe to say, if you see a meme with a song behind it, paid for.
I mean, it's some of these guys are really fucking good at what they do. And the cool thing about TikTok that I commend it for is like this really clever algorithm that like gives sort of everyone an equal playing field to go.
Yeah, sure. Super democratic. Absolutely.
It's extremely democratic.
Yeah. Lawrence is still fucking bearish on TikTok. I think it's just fucking the best.
I mean,
It's so sick.
Teach his own.
But even like if a video goes viral on your account, that doesn't mean that you're going to grow
Right. Sure.
a substantial amount of followers, which is a testament back to the whole thing we're saying. It's like people want to consume that one moment. People want to consume that one hook.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Versus IG, where it's like I want to consume your lifestyle, and versus Twitter, I want to consume your mind and your takes. Where it's like I'll follow instantly. Yeah, I get it.
Well, it's almost like DaBaby can go viral on TikTok, but guess what? DaBaby has a crazy body of work out there. So like he is, treating it like a marathon, not a sprint. Like too many artists like, yo, I just want to go viral on TikTok. Well, guess what? Like that's not going to translate into
what's next,
a long-term career if you don't consistently put out heat.
Yeah, I think that if it definitely comes down to records, keep putting out good records is obviously
the music is always the tunes is first and foremost.
We're talking about the music business, so how could anything else but the music be more important?
Right. Bangers only, slappers only. The fucking vibes.
Straight slaps.
This is a pretty business centric podcast at its core. I mean, which brings us to our second topic. We're done talking about Jimmy and Larry for a second here. Let's move on to the second topic of this podcast, which is of course money.
Ka-ching.
Zach, I think that you are a lot of young people and old people aspire to kind of do what you do and have multiple revenue streams. Like your life is your business and vice versa. I think it is important. Totally up to you. If you want to tell the people how much money you make
in the interest of salary transparency.
No.
Okay. Do you have a number where you know how much money you'd like to make? Okay. What do you like to spend your money on?
Yeah. Besides sneakers, well, the sneakers that you have to buy because you're getting seasonal.
So look, a lot of the reason I don't talk about like family life and things like that is because, it's their personal business. Why would me talking about something like help bring me up, especially if it's like a human struggle or something like that. Right. So, I mean, definitely I'm definitely the person who's, supported my family in more recent times, the last couple of years, which isn't a knock on anything. Like my mom's a mate, like I almost regret even bringing this up, but the point being, what do I spend my money on? It's like, so because I had access to all the venues, right? And I love DJing, and I would go even in my free time, like go try out a mix or something. I would go to the club when no one was there during the daytime, but everything's closed now. So what have I bought? Funny enough, I just bought my first pair of CDJs.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Which is like so fucking obvious.
Investing in yourself.
Yeah, for real, dude.
It's so
like, it's crazy to think it took this long.
Crazy to think it's long because I always had access to them, but I never had my own set. And also I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like I'm sitting at home, like watching Boiler Room episodes. My CDJs are set up on my coffee table in front of my couch, which is like the least convenient place for any like.
Right. It's like the most set because it's the most important thing now that you own.
Dude, it's like I have a big TV and then CDJs right across from them. I'm just like sitting at home, like watching like these crazy Boiler Rooms and like just sitting, whatever.
You're in the lab, dude. You're in the lab watching tape and you're doing R&D.
That's R&D.
I mean, I just bought my brother's amazing up and coming. He's in USC Film School. He's an amazing up and coming video director and creating like this media company. He's doing such cool shit. I just bought him a new computer. I just bought him a camera.
Big brother.
Are you at the stage where you're like investing in like companies, not just like stocks
or real estate or whatever,
or crypto?
I'm lucky that I get a lot of stuff gets brought to me to like, whether it's like, advisor shares and things like that. And I've actually strayed away from most of it.
Why is that?
Anyone would be like, take the free equity, bro, or whatever.
Right. The sweat equity like, or whatever. Yeah.
But it's like, I obviously want to only get involved in things that one, align with what I like my values, and also two, that I can actually properly bring value to them. I don't want to
two-way street.
Yeah. I don't want them to not be able to give them the type of commitment that they need and then take a piece of their company.
Yeah.
And also it's like,
You've got integrity, dog. That's what it's about.
Rare. And integrity is obviously probably, by the way, one of the most important things in business, period. The long run will always pay off. But I mean, it goes back to like that conversation of being self-aware. I realize more now than ever how spreading yourself thin, because in my mind, I'm like, why can't I do all these different things? And I'm lucky I'm doing them, right? I work hard and I'm doing a bunch of different things in different industries. But at what cost is one thing taking away from the other?
Yeah. Yeah, that's opportunity cost, right? That's what it is. That's economics.
Have you faced that yet though? Like, or are you still operating at full bandwidth to every endeavor that you're involved with?
I think we've definitely done a good job of streamlining like the clothing operation. And then the music is my number one passion, like always has been. And you know, music and fashion are inseparable. So it's like those tie in, but like I think fashion is reactive to music and not the other way around. But regardless, my point being, it's like, why would I get involved in something that's taking away from something that I'm building myself?
Right.
You know, it's
For
like,
sure.
So I mean, Lawrence quit our jobs to do this fucking bullshit.
You want to focus on the mothership. I get it.
Field trip is like, I mean, we have artists that depend on us, that believe, we have literally other human lives that are like,
Sure.
What percentage of your time is devoted to Field Trip?
Yeah, these days.
all my days are devoted to everything that I'm doing.
Okay.
I don't have
very diplomatic answer.
I don't have like a specific like hourly thing. It's like I'm just constantly every day, different calls for different artists, different things, you know.
Well, we talked about, I mean, Zach, that brings us to our third and final topic of the podcast, meats and cheeks. I mean,
just
for
sex
someone
and
that's, sucking and fucking, for someone that's like so wrapped up in, you know, doesn't stop, right? There's no downtime. Like, how hard is it to maintain a relationship in your line of work?
I could imagine that it's probably pretty impossible to date me, right?
You're undateable.
I'm undateable only because
Your kryptonite.
I'm so nonstop. And part of, I mean, the most beautiful thing of a relationship, right, is like the true, genuine, like human connection. Someone that cares about you above all. Someone that, you know, that feels
a true partner.
Feels like they're, you know, it's a piece of home in a human being, right?
Yeah.
But the main point here is that, ladies, Zach is fairly unattainable, but your parents would absolutely love him.
Oh, God willing, man. I mean, fuck. I mean, I've had, you know, amazing people come in and out of my life over the course of the years. I just maybe
you're focused on other shit right now. It just is what it is.
Focus on number one.
Yeah.
Speaking of number one,
uno.
Zach, you're clearly an arbiter of taste. You know what the fuck going on in all aspects of culture, which is why we want to know what you're fucking with and what you're not fucking with in a segment called Fuck With Not Fuck With.
It's a working title.
Still working on the title. We want to know, what music are you currently fucking with? We talked about the Field Trip Records, homies. What else is out there that you're currently banging in your ear holes?
Okay, well, let's talk about who should I see, the biggest artist in the world.
Yes.
Fuck, I mean,
that Guard Up track. Whew. That's the one.
Brent Faiyaz.
Oh yeah.
Someone is saying that he is on our Discord, was saying, after the Reese Flair episode, was saying that Brent Faiyaz gets fits off, and that
he's mad underrated, right?
Pod.
Like Reese, kind of in that.
He
just
has like crazy style.
Yeah, and bangers too.
He makes incredible music.
Yes.
Which is where it starts always.
He's taken the long. I mean, he's independent.
Right. Can't fits.
So he's cultivated like over the last, because even he was part of Sonder before that. Like he's made amazing music for a long time, and finally is now getting like his due respect.
Yeah, recognized.
Flowers.
But I think the R&B space is really interesting. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm looking through my playlist. Obviously, I'm constantly searching for new artists, so a lot of my day is dedicated to that.
What's the process there? How are you? What's the Zack Bia discovery process?
Or how does an artist pitch you as well, for any artists listening who want to kind of get themselves on your radar?
Artist discovery process goes back to like the fact that it's actually never sort of ignoring anything. It could be like stumbling in a wormhole. Like sometimes I'll look for videographers, right? Like who are cool creative kids to sort of bring into the our little universe. And I'll end up on one page that leads me to the next page that leads me to a video that they shot for this one artist that leads me to his friend. And I'm like, I'm like 20 Instagram pages deep now. I'm finding this kid in South Carolina who's just like so melodic. I'm like, he's epic, and I'll just DM him and we'll get to talking. He'll send me music, whatever. Or like my little brother who's like, when you're like 18, 19, 20, and you're like starting to get your feet wet in the creative fields, like that's when you're so...
Oh, you consume. You can't stop.
Consume. And you're so like tapped into the underground.
Your tastes haven't like solidified yet.
Right. It's a complete, it is that the benefit of being amorphous in that way, where you're like all over the place like all the time.
A bendy little newborn baby.
You're horny. You're just young, dumb, and full of cum, consuming all the bangers and slappers. That's the offer.
He sends me so much shit.
Is Lil Bia the source? Is he truly the guy that we should have had on the podcast?
What's your brother's name? Shout out your brother. What's his name?
Elon Bia.
Shout out Elon Bia, the future.
No, he is without a doubt the person you should have had instead of me.
Well, who has more followers on Instagram? That's who we want, so they can promote it and get us more.
I'm here speaking on behalf of him.
You're his emissary. You're Elon Bia's emissary. Thank you.
Are there any other artists that you have really been into of late? Pooh Shiesty, Brent Faiyaz.
Well, I was with. So here's the thing, right? This was my favorite. The way my brain works, I can't separate context from what's going on. Like, even if it's something that I don't necessarily like, I respect it for it reaching like its level of success in its own realm, right?
You're not a hater. I'm
not a hater by any means. I mean, yes, I do think that, like, you know, us and our niche have like really good taste level.
Of course, the best taste level, arguably.
And I genuinely believe that.
Right.
And I also am a big believer in the fact that things bubble within this sort of group of people, which then trickles down. You know, like a lot of stuff, even like stylistically, music,
this
whatever.
Is trickle down driponomics.
It's trickle down driponomics. I couldn't have said it better myself. But, you know, and I've seen that firsthand with like songs or things or whatever. But that doesn't mean that something that's bubbling in the world, like I have to respect it. And it's such a ever-changing landscape. But regardless, for example, separate conversation. I had dinner with this kid who's a producer, did a bunch of records on the Kobe EP. And he's like, you know, that artist, the Kid Laroi.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the Kid Laroi's like go-to man.
Okay.
Kid Laroi comes around. By the way, Kid Laroi is such a good dude. He DM'd me like 2 years ago.
When he was 12?
No, and he DM'd me, said, "I'm about to blow up soon. You should follow me."
Damn.
Did you?
And I hit him. And
did you dub him?
I hit him back like, okay, like go, because I guess we had mutual.
Okay, go crazy.
You're like, yeah, you got it, bro. You got it.
I was like, okay, like go crazy. And then like 6 months later, I hit him like, "You're doing what you said you were doing. Like, keep going."
You went crazy.
Get crazier.
Like, "You're going crazy."
Yeah.
Like, we might have to put you in an asylum soon.
Sure.
But no, but I had dinner with him last night, and like, that's a whole new generation of artists. Like, there's this pool of kids that are like 17, 18, but he, like, who knows? Like, he could be the next Post Malone or something
right.
like that.
Yes.
I don't know. My point is like,
oh damn. Remember when White Iverson dropped on SoundCloud too? And you're like, you could never even think that he would be like the spokesperson for Bud Light. Right.
White dropped on SoundCloud. That song like blew up overnight on SoundCloud. And then the next week we had him perform at Bootsy.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So you had the vision too.
Dude, oh my, like Post is my brother. Fuck, I love that guy. And it's so funny because, you know, he doesn't use Instagram. He very rarely uses it. But, you know, we'll DM like funny little things or whatever.
What's he on TikTok?
Yeah, where does he spend most of his time? Gaming, playing Minecraft?
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Making music and shooting guns.
Okay, all right.
Drinking Bud Light.
Yeah. He's amazing. He's one of the most soulful people, and he's someone that really has seen, you know, you go from having big dreams to like everyone sort of wanting a piece of you at all times. It's like, you know, like, what's that movie where the guy's just walking dead straight and everyone's like wants a piece of him, is pulling him, whatever. And like, that was kind of his life for a while. And that's just like the bad side of what comes with all the great things he accomplished.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like you want it all and then you sort of get it all and you're like, fuck, like how do millions of people know me, but I still feel.
Have you ever?
Yeah. What's your downside right now where you're at?
Have you ever experienced an aspect of that where it's like, I wish I wasn't as like well known so I could just like do my thing in peace?
Besides dating being impossible, as you just mentioned.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Just like the way that Post Malone, had to retreat to his fucking compound in Utah or whatever, because everyone wants a piece of him. Have you ever felt that at any point, you know, in your come up, in your glow up, where you're like, yo, I'm only one person. Like, you know, I'm trying to build something bigger here. I don't want, and you feel like you're getting, you know, pulled and pushed in a million different directions.
Yeah. What are those downsides for someone at your level?
I have felt that one of the best things that I had going for myself, that I sort of claimed for myself, was like the access, right? And it's like, and even that goes simple, being like 19, 20 years old and being able to like go anywhere you want, like in LA or whatever, like having, it's so funny because a lot of things revolve around the nighttime, right? You work and then you want to be this person so that you can go to the places you want to go to, whatever. And I had this access to restaurants, things like that. And it's like, I'm always the type that overextends myself for people in such a like deep, like genuine way for people that probably wouldn't do the same back.
Mm-hmm.
And I never ask for favors. I think that's like another one of my, pillars of business.
Right.
But,
we'll give you 2 hours of our time anytime you want.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Speaking of which, minutes left.
what do you say, Kevin?
But speaking of which, you have 8 minutes left.
Oh, wow. Point being, like, I would go out of my way so much and give people a lot of my access. It wasn't their access. This is like this is my access. This is my creation, my thing. For people that are just like, there's no hello, there's no thank you. And sometimes you just feel like you're a fucking, like I'm a, what's a website where you can like book, like Open Table? Like, am I Open Table?
Right.
Or something? And people like that are so entitled that like shouldn't even be at this fucking party anyways.
Yeah.
Or like 25 people, 10 minutes, like thanks, or not even thanks, like 25 people in 10 minutes. I'm like, 25 people in 10 minutes, where are you going? How do you even know where I am? And point is, obviously they know where I'm at. They know where the party they want to go to is, but there's such like an entitlement that it just shows that a lot of these relationships are disingenuine, or people are, sort of not grateful for things you do for them. That's why I always go out of my way to make sure people know how grateful I am. It's like, that's sort of like empty, right? It's like, it's like that one way exchange where like you're providing a service for people. And I'm not saying that they have to be so grateful to get a reservation somewhere, but I'm saying I used to spend all my nights, like 18 years old, running around. Everyone around me is having the best time of their lives, and everything's set up. And people are just like, they don't realize that they're one of 100 people asking for something. But it's like,
sure.
One girl's like, can I have a drink? And I'm like, first of all, I'm not a waiter, but not that there's anything wrong with it. But I'm saying like,
you're one of 20 people asking me the same question.
I'm being a waiter and a doorman and a TJ Booker and this and that all on the same night.
It's respect, man. You got to give it to get it, man. It's like some of these people don't get that.
All fucking night. It's like, go get my friends, do this, do that. And this is when I was like 18, 19 and first starting off. And it's like, I'm like, damn, never stops. People aren't grateful. People aren't this. And
right.
Like, that was
never stopping.
Yeah. I don't know. That was like sort of like those empty moments.
That was a bummer. Like that was a bummer to find out.
It's just a bummer. Yeah, it's just a bummer when I'm sober. I'm running around for 3 hours. I wish I could count my fucking steps. I'm walking 10 miles within a club in one night.
Right.
10 miles in the club.
I'm still in college at the time. So I'm like, I have school.
I'm going to test tomorrow.
Have you ever walked 10 miles in another man's shoes just in the club exclusively? No.
Dude, fuck, for real.
Zach, we want to offer you up some constructive criticism before we get out of here.
We're such big fans, dude. So we want to help you a bit.
We're such big fans. We want to see you level up. Obviously, you're on the come up, but take it or leave it from us. First up from me, Lawrence and I, we're no virgins to throwing parties. We threw this legendary party for 2 years called Jonah Hill Day. The big homie came through on day 2, got huge press, got talked about on Jimmy Kimmel, not Fallon.
Yep.
When pandemic's over, how do we revive Jonah Hill Day and how do we improve upon it?
Yeah.
We want you to come in and maybe creative direct it for us.
Yeah. Will you promote it?
Will you do that for us for free?
Yeah. We got no money.
Some drink tickets.
Please, 3 drink tickets and I'm in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Done.
And you're in there like swimwear.
I think like skincare, baby. But I think, I think that once everything opens up, people are going to be so fiending to do anything.
Right.
So
and horny as shit.
That's going to work to your advantage. But wait, where did you guys throw it?
At Kinfolk, the place where we are the Zack Bia of.
The place that's shut down.
That's legendary.
Exactly.
All
right. So we'll be in touch when shit opens up and when it's time to.
We'll get you a liquor sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I like that. We need that. We never had one.
Pacifico turn us down.
Turn us down.
We'll get you a liquor sponsor, Sunny Vodka. It's like, I'll talk to you guys more about that another time.
Go.
Awesome. That's great. Okay. And finally, my piece of constructive criticism, Zach, no podcast right now has, at least that we know of, has been signed to a record label. And we would like to be trailblazers. You're a visionary. You've got the fucking big brain. You should sign Throwing Fits to Field Trip Records. Where we go from there, who's to say?
Yeah. I mean, we're definitely, we want to be, trailblazers, as you said, for sure. We want to, no one's ever done it. So let's do it.
Let's go crazy. All right, Zach, thank you for joining the only podcast that matters.
Where can the kids follow you?
As if they don't already?
Yeah.
Just Instagram.
Just at Zack Bia.
There's no other social media.
And then what about plugs? Anything you'd like to plug real quick?
Oh yeah, my new TikTok. No, definitely don't go on there.
Yeah, block me on TikTok.
As a matter of fact, go ahead and hit the block button real quick. No shameless plugs. No shameless.
Really?
Gotta earn them.
But Field Trip Records is on Instagram. I'm sure you could easily find it from Zach's Instagram.
Yeah, listen to the SSG Kobe project that comes out in a couple of weeks. It's for sure going to be generational.
Let's fucking go. All right, Zach, thank you for coming on to the only podcast that matters.
The Heaven video.
And the Heaven video.
The Heaven video, yeah.
Zach, it's so fucking crazy.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Chef, I'm going to need you to turn on that outro motherfucking music, baby.
Salute.
I'm off the better things. I'm only doing shit that's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that, it's so They ask how I get that, I'm too busy in this money, and this cheddar. My daddy let me down, but I promise you I won't let her. I won't say fuck that man, but the shit won't make me better. Me, my butt still beef right now, cause he ain't get that letter. Numb to the pain. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, fuck everybody. I can't trust nobody. I need me at party. Don't invite me to no party. Bitch, pull up in that. It's so They ask how I get that. I'm a hustler, baby. You must not know me, baby. I'm off the better things. I'm only doing shit that's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. In that, it's so They ask how I get that, Can't worry about nobody, gotta worry about my business. Don't bring them niggas around me, I don't know their intentions.